So originally when I planned to make this video, there's going to be a lot of cool effects and edits added on to it, but I realized that probably wouldn't be a good use of my time since this is not that type of video. This is the type of video that you either watch or listen to once, probably in the background, and that's it. So I didn't want to spend any more time than it needed to be to just get this information out there because a lot of people have been asking me about this. And that is, it's been a while since I've said anything about Delphi 2, and there's a good reason for that. When I originally publicly announced work on Delphi 2 back in November of 2022, I thought it would be very soon before we all be seeing it, and then progress stalled and the project slowly fizzled out. It was only recently that I saw the project sitting around collecting dust, and instead of letting it rot any further, I decided to take steps towards reviving the project, assessing what new features needed to be added, and where the fat needed to be cut. Now, originally, what I planned to do or intended to release with Delphi 2 is more likely to happen later down the road. And what I mean by that is the person that I had working on the design work for the new interface is a bit busier now. And I'd rather them do it when they have more time so they can produce their best work rather than ask them to do it when they don't have that much time and they'll just end up doing worse work. Which means originally I wanted to release Delphi 2 with this entire brand new interface, but due to this change of plans, it's more likely that this will happen later post-release. Because of this, I don't really want to call this project Delphi 2 and leaning towards calling it New Delphi. This project now closely resembles the original, but hopefully with a new code base, in theory adding features, squashing bugs, and tweaking the site should become more of a breeze. Now, I've also been getting a few questions of people who've asked if they can help work on the project. And I appreciate it, and that's all very nice and good. But the process of onboarding people right now would just slow us down. And I don't want to take on this task while we're in the flow of moving things around and finishing the site. Onboarding people is more than just giving them the code base and letting them loose and make changes. When you have a project like this, you kind of have rules and guidelines and process on how things should be done and when they should be done. And right now, teaching that to anyone else would just take too long. However, I do have an assistant, and they've been very helpful thus far, and we're both working on getting it done and out the door as soon as possible. So perhaps down the line, I will look towards adding people onto the projects being worked on, so it's not so much of a one or two man show. However, after this project, I do want to work on other things. These things are possibly more community adjacent, and some of these projects aren't so. Some of them are my own pet projects and my own things that I would like to do and start advertising. I also want to start updating folks on my Patreon since I've essentially left it abandoned since I've opened it. Feel free to continue to donate, although don't feel pressured if you don't want to because I haven't produced anything yet. I totally understand. I get it. It's, if you don't want to donate because I haven't pushed out anything yet, then, that's what you should do. Although I do want to start updating patrons on how this project or other projects might be doing, so at least those donating to me aren't left in the dark about what's going on. And hopefully that would also populate my Patreon page a little bit more because right now it's just completely barren. I do also want to try and give rewards for those who have donated thus far, even though I haven't actually used any of the money sitting in my Patreon. It was more of a backup in case something went wrong. Nothing really went wrong, so I've never actually needed to pull from it still. Now, this is the point where eventually there might be a split in the donation pool or the way I take donations, where one is for IWC related projects and another is for non IWC adjacent projects, because there might be a group of people who only really care about IWC related projects, and there might be some people who don't care either way and they want to see me make just whatever. I do think long term this will be healthier for me and the community, lest we get ourselves into another position of relying on a singular person to maintain essential community infrastructure. That way we can have money going towards making and maintaining things like Delfruit and hopefully more, and not just, letting it sit around and do nothing. So hopefully I've answered any questions you're thinking of or any worries you might have, and I hope to speak with you all soon when there is more to share. Have a nice day.